The highly influential horror game Dead Space makes a comeback after 15 years to reclaim its throne as one of the greatest. Hey guys, welcome back to the Gaming Chronicles. Today we're diving into the world of Dead Space, the survival horror game that will have you on the edge from start to finish. Join Isaac Clarke as he navigates the creepy claustrophobic halls of the USG Ishimura. With Necromorphs lurking around every corner, you'll need all the courage you can muster. But don't worry, Isaac's got your back. With his trusty plasma cutter, you'll face off against some of the most disgusting and terrifying creatures in the survival horror genre. And with the Intensity Director, every playthrough is unique, meaning you'll never know what to expect. And the scares in Dead Space are top-notch. Forget cheap thrills, this game will keep you on the edge of your seat with moments that'll make you spit out your drink. The music is haunting and relentless, heightening the tension and adding to the overall creepy atmosphere. But beware, even in the later stages of the game, the scares don't let up. Sure, the gameplay may become a bit repetitive, but it only serves to make you feel just as worn out as Isaac. So buckle up, grab your plasma cutter, and get ready to face the terror of Dead Space. Are you ready to face the horrors of the USG Ishimura? Let's dive in. It's awesome that Dead Space is finally back. This survival horror franchise was one of the best, but it's been on hold for a while. Now, with the survival horror genre making a big comeback and linear games being more popular, EA decided to jump on the bandwagon. Motive Studios' remake of Dead Space is just what fans needed, and it was worth the wait. The original Dead Space, released in 2008, was a legendary survival horror game, and the new version is even better. It's like the game has come back even stronger and is a total masterpiece. Redoing a classic is a tough gig. You can't stick too closely to the original because it was already amazing, but you also don't want to change too much because that's what made it so good. But Motive Studio totally nailed it. Dead Space isn't afraid to try new stuff, and most of the changes are for the better. The love and respect for the original shine through, so it never feels like they're straying too far. Basically, it's Dead Space as you remember it, but even better and with more polish. The story is one of the things that really shines with this approach. The tale of Isaac Clarke and the creepy USG Ishimura spaceship is a classic in the survival horror world, and the remake was smart not to mess with it too much. The big parts of the story stay the same, and the mix of secrets, mysteries, and mind-bending horror still holds up just as well as it did 15 years ago. At the same time, Dead Space gives the story a few updates that make it even better. Okay, so Isaac's got a voice now, which makes him way more active in the story compared to before. He's chatting with characters, reacting to what's going on, and showing emotions, making him way more involved. Plus, the cutscenes have been redone and they're so much better now. For instance, the dialogue flows smoother and some scenes have been changed to make them even more intense. The remake switched things up by using a one-shot camera style, which means the whole story plays out without any interruptions or loading screens. The first Dead Space was already cool because of its kick-ass in-game UI, but adding the one-shot camera takes the immersion to the next level. The story now feels even more fleshed out and seriously engaging, which is saying a lot considering the original was already pretty unforgettable. The Dead Space remake takes a balanced approach to gameplay changes. Combat, for instance, gets a few tweaks, but overall it's still as awesome as always. Instead of just shooting headshots, you have to chop off enemies' limbs and stomp them to death. The core gameplay is still just as fun as it was 15 years ago, with you dodging necromorph attacks, making strategic shots, and using your abilities and environment to gain an edge. The tension never lets down until the end of the game. The new peeling system takes the already sick dismemberment to the next level, showing you more and more bones as you shoot and hit the enemy. It's a sick touch that makes the game even more brutal and adds to the strategy of the combat. The remake has made some cool changes to the weapons and progression system. They've added new fire modes for some weapons, better upgrade paths for others, and made the progression system smoother. So now you're more likely to use a variety of weapons, not just the famous plasma cutter. And using different weapons along with the stasis and kinesis abilities, while taking on different types of necromorphs, prevents the game from becoming repetitive and boring. The exploration part of the game got a major upgrade. The whole Ishimura is now one seamless map with no more annoying load screens between decks. You can now roam from one end of the ship to the other without any interruptions. Plus, the ship has new rooms and a new layout, making everything fit together better. The zero-gravity parts also got a total revamp. Now you can move around in a full 360 degrees, just like in Dead Space 2 and 3. This is a huge step up from the 2008 game, and even back then the Ishimura was one of the coolest settings you could find in a survival horror game. But with all these updates, it's even better now. The security system makes the game even harder. As you move forward, you get access to higher security levels which let you into more rooms and lockers on the Ishimura. This makes you want to go back to places you've already been, to see what you can find. And trust me, it's always worth it. You'll find ammo, stuff to use, audio and text files, and even side missions. Speaking of which, the remake's got some cool new side quests that actually add to the game. They're not just thrown in there to say there's new content. These side quests make exploring even better and give more depth to the story, especially for the character Nicole. Plus, they add more info about the world and other characters too. Dead Space is a really good survival horror game, even with all the added stuff and improvements. It's better than most other survival horror games at finding that sweet spot between scary and action-packed. The first release, back in 2008, was really well put together in terms of pacing, enemies, health and ammo, and how combat, puzzles, and exploring all work together. And the remake is just as good. The atmosphere is what makes Dead Space a survival horror masterpiece. The franchise has always had this as its strength, but the remake takes it to new levels. The graphics are sick, and it might be one of the best looking games you'll play in a while. The Necromorphs look freaking gross and the Ishimura is brought to life with so much detail. Bloodstains, flickering lights, creepy fog, loud banging noises, and footsteps in the vents, Dead Space takes all the best from the horror genre and does it perfectly. It is a game that'll have you on edge, making you jump and constantly scared of what's coming next. With the freaky Necromorphs and the creepy environments of the Ishimura, it creates a really intense atmosphere. Plus, with all the extra touches like hallucination events, random jump scares, eerie background whispers, and Isaac's heartbeat that changes with the gameplay, it'll give you the creeps even after you put down the controller. It's really hard to describe, but it nails the horror genre better than most games out there. Despite some minor UI glitches, the game is still a creative masterpiece that sets a really high bar for future games. Bottom line, Dead Space is one seriously killer survival horror game and a top-notch remake. It takes an already amazing game and makes it even better with smart updates and additions. Motive Studio really knocked it out of the park and created a classic in the genre. And for those who haven't played the original, now's the perfect time to dive in and see what all the fuss is about. So grab your plasma cutter and get ready to face the Necromorph terror on the USG Ishimura. So, what are your thoughts on this remake? Have you played it? What did you think of the new additions and gameplay? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you never miss our latest video game reviews and gameplay footage. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace out.